when I graduated high school, I started working for a staffing company. So I went in to get a job at like a temp agency, and then they hired me in-house, and I started doing staffing and HR and transitioned to like human resources. And when I moved to LA, I worked for HealthNet in Woodland Hills, and I worked the whole 9-to-5 thing for a long time, and I got tired of like, not being able to make up my own hours and the pressure of a boss and just, only having a certain amount of money I could make no matter what I did. And so I quit. It was scary, but I quit because at that point I was making about $70,000 a year. And I was like, what do I love? What do I want to do? So I'm assuming everybody that's in this room is probably here. Most likely all of you are here because you love doing hair. I quit HealthNet, scared the crap out of my husband, and started, and I already knew before I quit HealthNet, I was like trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So then I enrolled in school, I graduated school, and luckily we kind of timed it where we had saved enough money to buy a house as soon as I graduated school. And I started doing hair out of my house. So I had a little separate room off the kitchen with a door and a little powder room. And I was able to get an establishment license, which is like $50 a year if you want an establishment license. And you don't actually have to be a cosmetologist to get that. And that way, I just knew like I was on the up and up. And so if somebody wanted to report me or got mad at me or whatever, like state board, I was legit. So that made me feel more comfortable. And I got busy. I got busy so much faster than I thought I would. And I was scared. I was scared I wasn't going to make enough money. I wasn't going to have enough clients. I wasn't good at blow dries, all that stuff that, I was actually really confident in cutting, but I was super nervous about coloring. So what I did is I set my prices lower so that over time, I would get my hands in hair. That's all I wanted. I was like, the first 5 years, I'll price it low, I'll get my hands in hair, get lots of experience, and then I'll start pulling bringing my prices up. So that was my strategy, but that doesn't have to be your strategy at all. But it looks like our model is here. When you do color, you're going to drape with a towel, but when you do haircuts, you're not. So I bought like 20 of these capes, and I just wash them. I have a washer and dryer in my salon, so I just wash my capes with my towels, after use, and it's not a problem at all. And it's more convenient when you have clients coming and going, because you are not going to want to put a towel on somebody. So pretend like there's I don't even remember the name.
Sanic strip.
Sanic strip.
Or neck strip.
Okay, and you drape your client. Okay, so let me just ask him this. How do you like your hair? How's this cut for you?
Too long.
Too long? Okay.
I was just going to let you do your thing.
Just do my thing? Okay, I love that. Okay, so girls, when you do a man's cut, you have to feel their scalp. Because I have some bony heads like you would not believe. Or like, I have men that literally like right here, their scalp pops out. And their head's flat. Or I have one guy where his head comes like to like a bump on the top. I have another guy where his head is like flat back here at the apex, and his scalp comes down. So I have to compensate for the haircut in all these ways. So don't start a man's haircut until you really know he's got a really good round head. This is a good head. This is nice. It's like having an oval face right here, okay? For a woman. And he has good hair. He's like, okay, so good hair. It's super thick everywhere. Like it's all a consistent texture. He doesn't have like a spot that's straight and a spot that's like wiry. So all the texture is consistent. Really good color too. All right, this is gonna make me look good. Okay, so what's the trendy cut right now is high and tight for men, right? It's that whole like boardwalk empire. So we'll do that cut on him. In which case, this is long. Like I'm not going to take any length off this. Pretty much, I'll blend it, but I'm going to leave this long. And because he doesn't have a ton of length, up here, it'll probably come out looking like kind of faux hockey, but we'll take all this off, okay?
All right.
I can talk about shampoos while I do the pat. You guys are just gonna walk. I'll be talking about shampoos and haircuts while I do this. I always start with a man. I always start from the bottom up. Only exception, if I start on the top, it's because they already, like, they cut their hair on their own and they messed it up. And I just, like, sometimes I have men, they're hysterical, like, they'll comb their hair forward and cut it right here because it's long. And then I'm like, okay, well, I have to kind of fix that before I start. But most always, I start from the bottom up. So I'm going to do a 3 all the way up on him. I might even do a 2, but I'll start with a 3 and see how it looks. Always start long on your blade because you can go shorter, but you cannot go longer, as you all know. The longer, or the more you do these, the better you're going to get. So if you're nervous, just keep doing them. Some salons where, honestly, they just cut hair, and it's good experience. It's really just like, and they'll hire people right out of school. So if you guys are interested in that, you can come and see me. Okay, so clippers. If you don't already know how to open up your clippers, clean them, oil them, and put them back together, practice that in school while you're here. It's super easy. There's screws on the top. You need to do it pretty often. Like, you want to set your, I always just set, I'm big on like setting reminders. Also putting things in my calendar where I just, you know, because I'll forget on my own, but I like to do it like at least every 3 months. I do that to my clippers. And then I oil them, and I like the spray sanitizer that like oils and cleans them at the same time. Shampoos. The best part about a shampoo is the massaging. So, you know, make sure you get all of the soap off the neck. You get all the color out of the hair. Be really vigilant about that stuff. But always spend at least like 3 minutes, maybe 5 if you have time, if the stylist has time, to just do a really nice scalp massage. 7 times out of 10, you'll get a bigger tip because you did a really good massage. If you're not good at massaging, and you practice on someone, have them give you feedback on how you're doing. Because, like, I was really heavy-handed, which is good sometimes, but it's not. I'm a heavy-handed person. So, like, for some people, they were like, oh, you're too heavy-handed. And for others, they liked it. So you can also ask your clients, is the temperature, just like you say, is the temperature too hot? How do you like it? Hot, cold, medium? You can say, like, how do you like your pressure? So, like you do when you go. I'm going to do all his hair up to, because the high and tight is basically really tight all the way up to where your top is, and then the top is long and the sides are tight. So for me, right now I'm just taking everything up sort of evenly, and then what I would do, you can do 2 things. You can eyeball it for a while, but what I'll do is I'll show you how you guys might want to do it. Because I love these, by the way. These are just, they're simple, they're inexpensive, you can lose them and it doesn't matter. And they really, like, they help you part, and they help you, like, get in there and really clip hair out of the way. So, for me, you look at where their hairline comes back, and then that's going to be your divide between top and bottom. So, and you just kind of get that out of the way for them. And you just eyeball it. But what I do is sometimes this is the longest part, because you really want to make sure that your lines are headed in the same direction, and that this is the part where, like, this has to be perfect, because this is where you're cutting up to. The other thing that's tricky is don't go so if somebody's head is like big on the sides and then starts to go in really quick, you kind of need to stop before it goes in. So for him, we're good. We're just gonna, right here is perfect. Right here is good, but before I even start, I know what I want the end result to be. So don't even start cutting their hair until you have a full picture of exactly what you want the end result to be. And sometimes you'll have clients that are like nervous Nellies, and they will start changing their own idea in the middle, and I will stop right then. I'll stop, because they can get in your head and they can mess you up, where you think you're going in one direction and you have your end result, and then they start talking and you get confused and you're like, whoa, what am I doing? So just stop, make sure that you understand exactly what they're thinking, and then recalculate what you won't mess up if you have an end result in your head. So the best thing to do with the nervous Nellies is start talking, like ask them probing questions about themselves, so that they just start talking about themselves and their life, and they stop thinking about their haircut. So if you're not good at asking questions and you always talk about yourself, it might not work. So you gotta learn how to, or if you're too shy to talk, just ask questions. You know, how many kids, you'll think of them. As you do hair and as you meet more and more people in the world, you learn. I've learned so much doing hair, and it's all because I just ask a lot of questions and
where do you stop?
so the back, I'm just blending it in because the back on this haircut is just kind of faded in to the sides. It's not like super tight all the way around, because that's more military haircut, and that, yeah, you don't really want to do that. So for this one, I kind of like just do the sides, and I come down, and then I kind of fade the back just in. And you can make the back round, high and round. You could bring it down and do like the angled. There's a name for it, and I can't remember the name for it. But you could do like mohawk all the way. So this is the artistic part where you guys just kind of get to play with it and decide what you want to do. Okay, so his 3 is pretty good. 2 and 1. And we're going to fade. Instead of making like a really hard line around like his neckline, I'm going to fade from 0 up to 3. Okay, so I'm going to take a 2 now and fade up to the 3. I'm doing it this way because this is better for you guys. You'll get to a point where you'll start at a 0 and work your way up to 3, and you'll be fine with it. But starting long and working your way short is better for now. So really, technically, the 2 is just going to be all around the occipital, right? So I'll just stay in that area. You guys will get to a point where you can do a man's haircut in like 15 or 20 minutes. Depending on the man. I have some men that will come in and just be like, I don't know what you want. And so, but it just depends. Some will just come in and be like, do your thing, go. Do any of you have questions about business?
Yes, we do. Tell us how to open a business at the house.
Oh, the business at the house. Well, okay, so for an establishment license, you go online. I think it's State Board is where I got the application. You have to have a separate entrance and a powder room. And maybe that's it, actually, I think. Everything else you already have, running water, that kind of stuff you're going to have at your house. I just installed, for like $500, I hired a plumber, and he came in, and where I had like the laundry sink, I swapped it out for a shampoo bowl. Pipes, all the pipes are still there. I probably didn't even need a plumber, to be honest with you. I probably could have done it a handyman for less. There's so many different things that you guys can do with this license once you have it. It's kind of exciting. You can specialize in one thing: blow dries, wedding hair, color, and you can make a lot of money being a specialist. If you find niche, just a niche in anything you do, you're going to make more money. That's bottom line. It takes 10,000 hours to be a master at whatever skill you do, okay? And you work, if you're working full-time, you're working 2,080 hours a year, okay? 173.3 hours a month is 40 hours of work every month, every week, okay? So 2,080 hours a year, I only know this because of my HR experience, is 2,080 hours a year is full-time. So within 5 years, you guys will be a master at what you do. And if you do niche work, you'll be even better. And once you're good, that's it. Because you just have to get your name out there and be good at what you do, and you will be slammed. I am busier than I want to be. I'm being really honest with you guys. People say, oh, I'm going to give somebody your number, and I'm like, like, I want, you know, I have 4 kids, and I also help my husband run his business, and I do hair. So I'm really busy, and I can't find my blades.
So you don't have any assistants?
I do. I have 2 right now. And eventually, once my little kids are little, because I have 2, like I have kids spread out. But once my little kids get a little bit older, I'll probably open a salon, and then I'll make it bigger. Whatever. I don't know. Right now, I'm just trying to keep it simple. It's not easy. Okay, now I'm doing the 1. So much tighter than a 2. I don't know why. Because it's like you go from like not seeing scalp to like, whoa, there's scalp. So just be careful with your 1s.
And is this open or closed?
This,
The
push up. It's the tightest, yeah. Because I'm starting from the bottom. So I'll go tight here, and then I'll adjust it like bigger, and then I'll blend. Okay, so when you're doing this work, this really tight, short work, think of it as like so sculpting is a better word, because you're gonna just kind of really need to keep an eye on like the lines that you're making. Like right now, I'm doing a nice like U back here with this really tight number, and then I'll blend this tight one and then the loose one and the 2 together. Okay. I love sideburns. I know a lot of men that want to take them off, and I always encourage them to leave them on, but
is like the
like, okay, when I was going like just kind of up through, like I was just trying to take off the excess down here. And then when I get in, usually I don't always pay attention to what I'm doing, but I think when I'm really working on a blend or something really important, like I do the smaller, shorter sweeps like this.
But the effect overall is the same.
Yeah. When I'm sculpting, I'm slower and more methodical, and when I'm just trying to take off hair, I just, go through. Don't pull too fast though, because it will. Sometimes the clippers can't keep up with you if you're going too fast, and they'll pull on their hair, and that won't feel good. That'll lower your tip. I set my prices at a rate that in my head I was like, okay, this plus the tip will be what I want, and it's crazy how many people don't tip. And I don't know if it's because I'm a salon owner, but a lot of people don't tip. So don't set your prices at what you want after a tip. Set them at what you want after your haircut. The tip is just going to be your bonus. And if you set them too low, you're going to be working too hard. Don't set them so low that you're working crazy hours and, like, it's obviously it's up to you and what you feel comfortable doing. For me, I still set my prices low. I got really used to like doing anyone's hair, so that was, for me, it was good. And then I went up from there. You probably don't want to change your prices every year, because that might annoy your clients. You might want to wait a couple of years and then change them. So just set your prices at an amount where you're not going to be like every few months going up. And they're going to want to know what you charge, unless you're at some like. If you want your clients to return, they should know what you charge, to be honest with you. People like stability. They have budgets. They need to, like, feed their children. So a lot of women don't work, and their husbands are like, you know, here's how much money you have for the week, and so they really need to know like what you're going to
You
charge.
can't go in and pull out because she'll have a big step to blend. So she's already pretending like it's getting longer or predicting that it's getting longer.
Yeah.
With a line, you have to go fix later or as much of that.
Yeah, except for on top.
Can we turn
This is a more meticulous, this is going to take more time. This haircut is going to be, you're going to charge people. Think about minutes too. Like if it takes you an hour to cut somebody's hair, then, well, it might in the beginning because you guys are just starting out, but like after 5 years, if it's taking that long, you have to charge them more because your time is money. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just blending. I think I'm actually being me. It's a little nerve-wracking. Usually I only have like 3 people in the salon at the same time. I did my taxes recently. I work 25 hours a week. I'm just going to be totally blunt with all of you. I made $85,000 last year at 25 hours a week. So I will tell you guys that you can make money. There is no reason why you can't make money. Another thing, I started out using Redken because there's Redken here and Wella here, right? Started using that. I don't know how you feel, and you can pipe in. But what I found is that with color, people's hair, like he's got red in his hair. His hair is almost like a red color. It's awesome. But everybody's hair is going to pull red. Certain levels of red, everyone. From a 5 down. Well, 6 down, actually. 7 up, and it won't. But irritate, like their scalp starts, it's stronger. It's like, I don't know if it has like more ammonia.
Ammonia, yeah, it has more ammonia, but it's for gray.
Something you can put in the color to like
Sweet and Low. Sweet and Low works, I'm telling you. Dermatologists recommended Sweet and Low will stop your color from burning or hurting a scalp. It'll make it more gentle. You didn't know you were going to be here for an hour, did you?
how much sweet and low.
I would say for like a 1.4, like the 3 ounces that you would do in a whole bottle of Wella would be 1 packet or maybe 2 packets, depending on how sensitive they are. People would come back. I have.
Sorry, Kelly, I'm
No, you're
sorry.
fine. You're fine.
Clients with our Wella product just to get it to cover their hair.
Yeah, and you do not want people coming back. You guys want to make sure they're happy while they're there. If they're not leaving with a smile on their face, they're not happy. People that like their hair are like, they will smile. They will smile. The second you're done, and even before you're completely done, they're smiling.
And don't let them leave not happy because sometimes you go through the whole blow dry or
Yeah.
you go through a lot of work and then the next day they come back and they're like, my grayish.
And then you have to do blow dry
Same
again
day. Yeah,
for free the second time.
exactly. So you just wasted all that time.
Yeah.
Shampoo, blow dry, the whole works.
How far apart do you book your appointments?
I do every half hour. So it's easier for my schedule. Half hour for a cut, half hour for, and then some things don't actually take me a half hour, so they balance out. If it's a full weave, then it's an hour. But everything's like every half hour I have a different person in my chair, and sometimes if it's like a kid's cut or a man's cut, I'll squeeze 2 people in through a half hour appointment. And then my assistant will do all the like shampooing. I found out really quick that it was cheaper to hire an assistant, even when I first started, to hire an assistant to do all the shampooing and the prepping and the draping and the cleanup and the charging people and the scheduling appointments than for me to do that. For me, I have to be behind the chair in order to make money. If I'm doing any of those other things, I'm not making money. So even if you're brand new and you're like, I can't get an assistant, like you can't not get an assistant. Because if you don't, then you're not going to make as much money. But I have friends that I wouldn't charge. If you don't charge a friend one time, they will expect it every time. Promise. They will expect a free haircut and their kids to get a free haircut and their husband to get a free. They will expect it every time because you're best friends, so they'll expect it. So if you're gonna do that with somebody, but that being said, I'm all for bartering. So if somebody has something you want, totally do their hair for free. I have a girl, I get like, she works in a dermatology office, so I get like laser from her, laser facials. Those are like $300 because they'll keep expecting it. I've experienced it, I know. So if you're up front, you're just, maybe give them, like, I'm going to give you the friends and family discount. Like, you know, so you're charging them less, but it's not free.
How do you make it sound less awkward?
Less awkward?
Yeah, like.
Well, they're gonna. I think the first time somebody.
Really
well, now are you
weird to
trying?
be
It depends. Okay, so
Well, it's gonna be $20.
are you trying to? Are you already doing someone's hair for free?
Yeah.
And you want them to start paying now, right?
I don't know.
Yes.
I feel so weird.
It's okay. I get it. Don't we all get it, right? So if you're already doing someone's hair for free and you want to charge, you can just say it's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be awkward. You just have to put on your like big girl panties and like just say, you know, I'm doing a lot of people's hair for free or something like that, and I'm just gonna start charging, you know, whatever you're comfortable, even if it's just a small amount. And then when you raise your prices, you're just gonna say, time for a raise. I get a raise. But you have to be your own advocate, or else there are people, and I think it's just genetic. It is not their fault. There are people that are takers, and there are people that are givers, and it's just genetic. It's not like they're trying to be mean. They're just, you know, you don't have to like be upset with them for being the way they are. It's just who they are. So, but say it. Just have a conversation. Just power through it. Just be like, do this. Meditate on it or whatever you got to do. But like, make it happen, because if you don't start now, you're gonna be bitter, and then you're not gonna even want them to be your friend. You're gonna say like, oh, my sister's coming. That's not cool either, because you want to be happy when your family comes. Okay. What else, girls? What else?
How did you go from like a corporate job to a independent without the insurance and all the benefits? Because the salary is good, but how do you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so for me, I'm going to say it probably was easier because I had my husband. When we first moved to LA, he wasn't making any money and I was supporting us. But then as we lived here for like, you know, after the first 5 years of living here, he started making enough money that he was making what I was making. So then I was like, okay, now you can support us and I can go do what I love. So I don't actually know the answer to that question if you don't have a partner.
I do, and he has benefits. But what about?
Okay, so what I did for my health care, because like if you do the research, I don't think you have to pay that much. Unless you make enough money to cover the health care anyway, but you can just get an individual plan anywhere. You can get it at Health. PPO is more expensive. You have to pay more out of pocket, but you get to pick whatever doctor you want. I know way too much about health care.
The co-payment's higher, right?
Yeah, for PPO, co-payment's higher. Yeah. So some people are like sticklers about like who their doctor is, and I'm not that way. I'm just like, just fix the problem. I just need the, you know, I just need the antibiotics, okay? Just give me the drugs. I don't need your friendship. And it's just a pain in the butt. The application is just a pain, but just do it. There's a lot of applications that are going to be a pain for you guys in life. You just got to push through.
Sorry, Kelly, you were saying how you built your clients.
Oh, built. Okay, so I already had some clients. Okay, I think I got lucky, to be honest with you. I was already almost where I wanted to be just from, so I worked at a salon while I was in school every Saturday. As soon as I was done with school, they let me have a chair. And I just started paying commission. So if you're going to start that way and you have no clients, go find a salon that has heavy foot traffic and just start doing it that way. If you're trying to build up clients, and you got to think about marketing. So you've got to like have your Instagram account, get your business cards, put your license plate on your car, or get those magnetic things on your car that say like, your phone number, so they can call you for appointments. Be available for everyone, anytime, day or night. All those things when you're trying to build. Once you've built, you don't have to, game on, you don't have to do any of that anymore. So he has a tricky little calic right here. Can you see that? This side's like, I'm your friend, and this side's like, No. So this will just be like hair wax and a blow dryer to get the cowlick to go the direction you want. With a cowlick, never let it dry on its own. So if it starts to dry and it's a cowlick, this is with blow drying, of course, too. Like, it will do whatever it wants as soon as it gets to dry on its own. So you just re-wet it and hit that spot first. And I'm getting in with these right above his ears. A lot of times, to be careful not to leave long hairs around their upper ears. Also with men, like Eric doesn't have any, but because he's nice and young, but they get random hairs out of their ears. Sometimes their eyebrows are like wackadoo, and so you need to like just kind of take a couple of those off. I don't do nose on men, like that's a little personal. Have a couple men who have me do their beards, which I don't enjoy doing, but I do it anyway because I like them. But I always loosen the cape at the end. When you're blowing air on them just to get the hair off, it needs to be cold air. Unless it's really cold in the room, and then you can do warm, but not hot air. But you loosen the cape just to go a little down, like below their shirt line, their neckline of their shirt. Be careful with necklaces. I totally like cut someone's necklace before. You can tell to people to just take off their jewelry before you start, just to be like good to go. Or I ended up buying her a new necklace. I bought new shirts for people because I got color on their shirts. If you don't want to do that, have them put a smock on first, and then put a cape on them. A lot of hairstylists do that. It's better than buying someone a shirt and they're like, "This was a $50 shirt," and you're like, "That was not a $50 shirt." Okay. Okay, Massimo. No man should ever go without product. I say that all the time. Women can, you know, if you have like just a long soft, the hair's straight anyway. The men, like, I think this they need texture. So I'm just pushing this cowlick up. Hey, are you sore? So the other new thing is like, I'm just kind of blending this a little bit more. Kind of making this a little shorter. There's a hard part now where you take your trimmers and you make a line all the way. Yeah, that's really cool. My little guys have that. And highlights. They asked, not me. I was like, oh. My daughter started getting highlights too now, so I'm like, great. How many what? Oh, 2. I have a backup pair. Backup blow dryer. Have a backup of everything. The scissors. You do not need the golden scissors. Is he still coming? There's a guy that would come out with gold. So, but you do need, I think you need at least like 4 pairs of scissors. Because what will happen, and 4 pairs of trimmers, because I will tell you, even though you're going to try really hard not to drop your $60, $75, $150 scissors, you will drop them, and you're going to need a new pair right then. So you need to always have 2 or 3 scissors sharpened, ready to go. And then you should probably have another 2 like in the shop being sharpened. So like how you're gonna tune up your clippers and your trimmers every 3 months. You're always gonna have. You can take your scissors into Sally's, and they have the Arius Eckhart folder, like little envelope. It's hard, it's stiff, it has cardboard and those bubble wraps. You put your scissors in there, you fill it all out, you send them in, and it's like $25 a pair. And then they give you a discount if you send 2 in at the same time. And so just it's something you just have to budget for, because it's just something you're going to keep circulating. Because you don't want to just keep buying new scissors. Like, buy like 5 or 6 pairs of scissors and then just keep setting them in to be sharpened and adjusted. They adjust them and they sharpen them. With this dry wax, I took it out, I emulsified it all over my hands, and then when I put this on men, I put it over everything like a shampoo. You know, like I want the whole hair to look like the same texture. And what I love about this stuff is it's pliable. It's not alcohol based, so it's not going to come off halfway, 20 minutes in. And you can kind of just mold and form his hair. It's not easy doing a man's haircut without a mirror in front of you. Just, no judging. Okay, so if your hair gets long, you decide you want to cut it yourself just to get it like out of your face. Grab it from here and pull up. Don't pull forward. Just like pull straight up and then just cut the top. Or just come get another haircut.
That's what I'll probably do.
Just keep getting it cut. All right. Well, thank you. I'm not in, so I cut my own hair. All right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
He's smiling, so he's gonna
Oh
come
yeah.
back.
He's got the